guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over some advice to student teachers who are going to be going into their internship this fall or this spring. Now, I am a first year teacher going on my second year teaching this fall, and I thought it would be nice to kind of reflect on my student teaching experience, how it kind of helped shape my teaching career, and some tips on what to expect and how to make your student teaching more efficient and effective for you. So if you watched my teacher tag video, you would know that I did a year-long extensive program through the MAT certification. That is a program that is geared more towards people who are going into teaching as a second career. The program really gave me a lot of insight to what it is to be a teacher. It was only 1 year, so really it was the most intense experience of my life, but it was also one of the best experiences as well. Now, before I went into this program, I was very nervous for my student teaching experience. I remember the excitement and the anxiety that I felt before my internship actually began. So if you are waiting to start your internship, I hope this video is going to give you a lot of good, insightful tips on what to expect as you go into your student teaching experience. Now, I know programs vary a lot from state to state, from program to program, so this might not be exactly what you experience, but it's going to be something similar to this. So first, you are going to be partnered up with a teacher that's going to be your mentor for the duration of your internship. Usually you do not pick your mentor, it's chosen for you, but they do take into account your personality and try to match you with somebody that they think you will mesh well with. That's not always the case, however. I know a couple of people in my program who actually had to switch teachers just because of clashes with personality. So just know that if you really don't mesh well with your partnership teacher, that if you work with people in your college, they will more than likely help you transition into going into another teacher's classroom. In my case, I had an absolutely amazing mentor teacher who actually helped me out during my first year of teaching as well. I got lucky enough to be hired into the school that I interned at, so I was able to have my mentor teacher there during my first year of teaching as well, which was such an amazing help. So the program for student teaching, usually it's broken up where you initially go in to meet your partnership teacher. You might observe for a few weeks, kind of go in for half a day, maybe just a couple hours in the morning to observe a class. You just take notes, you kind of walk around, you help out. You're just kind of floating around, really, just getting into the feel of what it's like to be in the classroom. For my program, I actually started very early. We had almost a whole year of interning in the schools. I first started out just going in 3 days a week where I would observe the class. Sometimes I would help out, kind of tutor kids one-on-one if they needed it. So I went in to the school every day for half a day up until Christmas break. Eventually, after just observing, I gradually started taking over some responsibilities in the class. At first, I would just go over the bell ringer for the day. I would kind of help ease them into my presence that way. And me and my mentor teacher would co-teach the class. So sometimes I would teach a mini lesson that would last for like 10 to 20 minutes long. And then eventually, towards the end of the fall semester, I took over 2 of the classes completely myself, and I was able to kind of start progressing towards what the spring would actually look like. So once I actually got into my spring semester, I actually was able to take over the classes myself. So in my program, my professors told me how intensive this experience is. I really was not expecting it to be as extensive as it was, so know that when you go into student teaching, this is going to be basically a full-time job for you. So you're going to school and you are also working full-time. And this can get really stressful because you might find that you don't have enough time for yourself. So what I'm going to be giving you are 10 tips that I have kind of compiled together for you to take as you are starting your internship yourself. So hopefully these tips will help you prepare for your internship, and I hope that it will make your experience the best that it can be. So my first tip for you guys is to keep a binder full of all the materials that you get. Now, I got a ton of examples of student work. I have a lot of just different sources that I've gotten from Teachers Pay Teachers, from teachers around the school, from my mentor teacher, from other teachers in the county. They've all given me valuable resources throughout my student teaching. And so I wanted to make sure that I kept those to be able to look back on later during my first year of teaching and onwards. And I can tell you that I've referred back to this binder basically every time I sit down to plan. So this is what my binder looks like for my student teaching. And you can see it's a 3-ring binder. It's completely full to the max of stuff. I can just show you really quickly of an example page. So for example, I have an activity on this side. I got this from Teachers Pay Teachers. And then I also have on this side right here just some notes that I kind of typed up myself. And I have these all in order of how I go through them in the curriculum so that it's easy for me to flip back and see what I did the year before. Keeping a binder just really helped organize all of my materials. And again, as I said, I continue to look back on this and reflect on my first year of teaching and kind of help me plan for the next year. My number 2 tip is to get to school early. So you don't want to be that intern that comes in about 5 minutes before class starts. It doesn't look good for you to come in late. You want to be prompt and prepared for school. So you want to get there at least 30 minutes before you are scheduled to teach your lesson or begin your day. And in that time, you can get a lot of stuff done, but get to school early and you will be very prepared to tackle the day. Number 3 is to ask for constructive criticism. So this one is something that really helped me kind of develop myself as a teacher. As I said, I didn't go to school for undergrad for teaching. I came in late to the game to do a 1-year program to become an educator. I really had no idea what I was doing. Really, every single piece of feedback that I got from my mentor teacher, even if it was really critical, don't take it personally. They're just trying to help you develop your skills. They want you to be the best teacher that you can be. And you're not going to become a good teacher unless you have that constructive criticism to guide you and make goals for yourself. Which leads me into number 4 is to make goals for yourself. So they can be short and long term, but write them down somewhere where you can look back on them throughout the year. Maybe have them on just a post-it note that you stick on your desk. Maybe put it in your planner, on a whiteboard somewhere, but have them visible for you to see them so that you can look back and be able to actually understand how much progress that you've made. And number 5 is to find a work-life balance. So you are going to be working basically a full-time job while also going to school full-time. It's going to be very difficult in the beginning to find that balance between work, school, and social life. So what I suggest is to early on really get your stuff together, focus on spending at least an hour a night dedicated to something that you want to do. I know there's a lot of work that you need to get done, and I'm not saying to ignore your responsibilities. I'm just saying to prioritize yourself as something that's important. Once I stopped staying until 6 p.m. at school, I felt so much better and more productive and ready for the next day. And I really think it's because I took the time to make time for myself. Number 6 is treat every day like an interview. This is something that my partnership teacher told me, and I really took it to heart during my internship. So this means that you need to be professional at all times. There are eyes everywhere in the school. Teachers are, you might not know this, but teachers are looking at you, they're talking about you. Administration is asking questions about you to your mentor teacher and to teachers that you've talked to. So really just keep that in mind, because they're going to be the ones that you're going to look to for recommendations when looking for jobs after your internship. I actually teach at the school where I interned at. I really think that because I took the advice of pretending like every day was an interview, that is the reason why I got the job. This entails dressing professionally. Make sure that you are always presenting your best foot forward. Don't wear jeans on jeans day, even though you really want to. Dress professionally anyway, because you, again, are in an interview basically throughout your entire experience there. Also, another thing is to ask for a mock interview. My school actually provided that for all the interns at the school, and it was just really awesome to be able to practice my interview skills. It really was nerve-wracking, but it really started to help me become more comfortable answering questions at interviews. Number 7 is to ask questions. So you might feel dumb for asking a certain question, but I can assure you that there are no dumb questions at all, ever. And I know you've probably been told that before, but really take that to heart. Don't feel like you can't ask a question. Ask questions about anything. Maybe you have something about technology that you're not sure of. Maybe you can't find a certain building in your school. Maybe you need help lesson planning. Maybe you need help with classroom management. Anything. Ask any question and your mentor teacher will help you. Number 8 is to experiment. So by this, I mean to try out the cool things that you went over in school. Try out different technology. Try out different ways to teach a lesson. So for example, maybe you want to try out doing a Socratic seminar. Maybe you want to try out doing small groups. Try something out of the box, something that you want to experiment with during your internship to see if it will work out during your first year of teaching. This is the place where you can try out all those really cool things and not be afraid to do it. Number 9 is to be flexible. So you want to make sure that you are also being flexible with how you present material to your students, with how you are going to structure your class. Be flexible with the partnership teacher that you have. Make sure that you communicate with them to make sure that you're doing things that are okay with them. This isn't your classroom, so you want to make sure that you know the boundaries of what you can and cannot do. So for example, if your teacher has a specific way they do things that they want to keep in place when you leave, make sure that you adhere to that. For example, my teacher had introduced interactive notebooks to her classes. So when I took over, I had to make sure that I was creating lessons that could go into those notebooks and have that procedure keep going on so that when I eventually left, that she could pick up and continue doing things her way as well. So just be flexible in regards to that. Your mentor teacher is really going to give you a lot of room to do things that you want to do, but also remember just to be flexible and know that this is their class, not your class. And number 10 is to keep a sunshine folder. This is what I mean by a sunshine folder. So this is where I keep all of my mementos from my first year and where I continue to keep things that make me happy and remind me about why I became a teacher in the first place. So in the folder, I just keep a lot of cards that I've gotten from different parents, from colleagues, from students that inspire me to continue being the best teacher that I can be. If I have a bad day, I can go look in my sunshine folder and find something that will make me not feel as bad. You're probably gonna have a lot of bad days. There might be days where you're questioning why you're becoming a teacher, but again, remember, there's always gonna be bad days in any profession that you choose, and teaching's one of those professions. So with the sunshine folder, just remind yourself that teaching is an amazing career. You touch so many lives and so many lives touch yours as well. So I hope that this video has really helped you understand what student teaching is like, what it might be structured like, what advice I would give you, and I hope that this advice is going to be helpful for you as you enter your student teaching in the fall or in the spring. If there are any questions that you have, just please leave them in the comments below and I will answer those as soon as I can. And just good luck to all of you guys who are going to be starting your teaching journey. It's going to be amazing. Don't stress about it, just enjoy the ride. If you like this video, please comment down below. Subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any future videos, and I cannot wait to see you until the next video.